start, ma'am, please.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to this panel discussion. This is episode 24, season 3. We are in MUN series. Previously, we were talking about sustainable development goals. And of course, in this MUN series, we will be taking SDG 4 into limelight as well. I'm your host, Aarti Bagwe-Gill, and today we have panelists on board. Let's welcome all the panelists on board today. Dr. Preeti Futela, AIF resource person, and Ms. Pushpalata Thakur Chaudhary, AIF resource person. Today's topic of discussion is MUN in continuity and UNEP. MUN in education system is the primemost priority in this session. Model United Nation is an authentic simulation of the UN multilateral organs, which catapult the students into the world of diplomacy and negotiation. The primemost objective of this model of United Nations, it is actually a conference-based program to educate the participants about the international relations, diplomacy, and the United Nations system through a simulation of its proceedings. Today, we are putting UNEP into consideration, that is United Nations Environment Program, which was established in 1972, leading to global authority environmental matters within the UN system. The core mission is to provide leadership and encourage the partnerships to protect the environment for present and, of course, future generations. So for this, I would like to call our first panelist for understanding this promoting environmentally sound technologies. Yes, ma'am, please. Pushpalata, ma'am, please.
Good evening, everyone. Thank you, ma'am, for giving me a chance. I hope I'm audible here.
Yes.
Okay, ma'am. So we are talking about environmentally sound technologies and adding on to the Model United Nations. As we already know, you have really given a very good detail of whatever students are doing today in the Model United Nations and discussing environmentally sound technology and saving the planet through, by saving our environment and water is a very big task. I would like to elaborate here that in environmentally sound technology are innovations which protect the environment, and this happens when nations get together and they use their resources sustainably. So, and they make sure that they are causing less pollution and they're recycling most of their waste and using a lot of technologies, very comprehensive systems, specialized know-how of how these technologies are run, and where a lot of organizational procedures are also put into effect out here. So whatever happens is that how these things come into effect are very important, because all nations they come together, and how this happens is how the implementations of these technologies, how these environmentally sound technologies take. First of all, what happens is whenever the children get together through these MUNs, they have to lead resolutions. Here what happens is they have to raise awareness about the agenda, about the topic which we are talking about here. Then nations and children can get together and they look at the best practices, the use of green technologies, etc., which are utilized by different nations, and how these actions can be implemented there in their own countries. And then how these then the second is how these technologies can be transferred or taken over by their own countries, and how they can make the same change in their country, and how in that technology transfer the things which come these children have to come across are where will the financing for these technologies come from, how can they partnership with different technologies, and how these policy frameworks and strategies for these green technology be affected and taken over and gone through. and that is how all these things have to be, thought about and planned, because this is going to facilitate the establishment of these. You have to make sure that the private and the public sectors comes together and they work, because here we are not talking about a very micro level. Here we are talking about a macro level, how they are going to make a change in the system and how the whole nation is going to abide by it. So we are also here we are planning to put together the public and the private sectors and promote these policies. Then the next thing that you have to think about is capacity building. How we are going to train our children, how we are going to train our people. Professional training, where will it come from, where will research come from, where will education move forward here, and how, what are the pilot projects which our nation can put forward, where we can, take over different kind of case studies, look into them, and also facilitate the same process in our own country. And all these developments are very vital, and that in case where you're talking about technology, in case where you're talking about saving the environment and saving the water. As we all know that we are living in very vulnerable times, we all are globally interdependent. So from here I would like to talk about some countries which are really going ahead, and doing some great work. So we have a lot of, smart work. When we talk about, a lot of nations are coming together. They are, I'm not talking about very micro level here, we are talking about a large level where, our countries are depending upon solar energy, wind energy, etc. So, become these are the sustainable, these are all sustainability things which we can, energy transitions from which we can utilize whatever's given is to our nature, and put it forward without harming our nations. So this is also one very important thing. Then we have Germany, which is really building up, 70% of their buildings are becoming very energy efficient. And when we talk about US, they are putting in, sustainable agriculture, where they're using, very precise way of cropping, where they are they have very good recycling system. They're using drones, etc., fertilizers and water systems, which are, very specific in how much amount we are needing and how much amount we are putting into our soils, etc., so that our fertilization and things can become like this, and our sustainable technologies can be forward. And we are also talking about, even in cities, etc., where we talk about vertical gardens, etc., where all these all these things can, technology transfer, capacity building. Whenever we talk about MUN, Model United Nations, the children can deliberate on it, sit down, think about it, and they can find out what according to their local culture is the best practice which they can incorporate. A place might have more of rainfall, so they can use the water energy there, and a place which is having more of wind energy, we can use wind energy there to, for sustainable. And places where there is less area, less rainfall, there we can go in for the vertical farming, etc. And places which have good land, there we can do the farming, etc. So according to the area, and according to the country, according to the population, all these deliberations can occur. And when our children sit through these MUNs, and they pick up these, they explore different forms of pollutions and the viable solutions, I think it is a great way of bringing about a global dynamic change. And we know that all our ecosystem is, interrelated. And once our children get to know how to take care of it, and even in schools level now, if we come back down to the micro levels in our classrooms, in our schools, we can have different strategies where we can teach them from, taking on, whenever we, even when we're talking about little food and fruit which they are eating, they should go in for indigenous variety of eating food, so that the farmer or the people around them who are growing crops, they are motivated to keep growing these things, and they are not putting pressure on the environment to, get food from outside. So this is very important for all these things. And children, starting at the school level, starting at the state level, at the country level, and the global level, when our little children start thinking in big ways, I think in the future generations they'll be, ready to make big difference. They'll become they will bring a revolution when they are actually sitting in those chairs in, United Nations. They will really make, renewable energy a big time, a sustainable agriculture, circular economy, green cities, smart cities, and all these things are going to be, a great input from all these children. I think this is all what I would like to add. Thank you so much, ma'am, for giving me some time.
Thank you, ma'am, for sharing valuable insight related to this particular window of UNEP. And of course, we are looking for that protective planet for the future generations. And of course, different projects that students must discuss in MUN will help them to understand the scenario on a greater perspective. Quickly, I'm moving for this one, that is a pollution-free planet. And for this, I'm going to invite our next panelist. Yes, ma'am, please.
Thank you, Aarti. Thank you so much, Aarti ma'am, for this invitation. And happy to speak on the platform. When we talk about planet-free, the pollution-free planet, so today is the right day. Today, UN is celebrating Cleanup Day today, and it wants that the planet should be clean from all kinds of pollution. When we talk of all kinds of pollution, we can not only talk of water pollution, air pollution, but whatever is causing pollution in our on our planet has to be deleted. It is high time now. The UN SDG goals were given to us in 2015 and to be achieved till 2030. We are almost at the fag end of 2025. So hardly much any time is left with us. So when we talk about pollution-free environment, when we talk about pollution-free environment, let us begin with the basics. Pollution-free environment is
Preeti, ma'am, are you there? Ma'am got disconnected. No worries. So yes, we are talking about pollution-free environment. In pollution-free environment, first of all, we need to understand the things which are causing pollution in this environment. Our
exactly.
planet, yeah, ma'am is back. Yes, ma'am, please.
Ma'am, I would also like to add that, waste management is also a great way of, is a
Ma'am,
very
are you
big
there?
thing. Yes, ma'am, she's here.
Yes, ma'am, please.
Yeah, so when I am talking about the pollution-free environment, I am talking about that pollution-free environment where we can talk to our children of the small eco swaps that can really help us. When we talk about small eco swaps, I'm going to repeat myself. I don't know whether you heard me or not, that we should say no, no to the tissue paper, no, no to the paper napkin, but yes to the cloth napkin. So remember, I always take up in my sessions to your picnics. You are already carrying a big picnic bag. You are already going for a potluck. Okay, I'm going to prepare something. You are going to prepare something. Then why not take your own small steel plate, bowl, glass, spoon with yourself? That will take little space in your bag, but it will go a long way because after you have used it, where is it going? It is all going to the landfills. And landfills, it is coming out as methane gas and spoiling our environment. Or it is landing in the oceans. And when it is landing in the oceans, it is spoiling the ecosystems therein. It is disturbing the life below water of the creatures. So we must be very careful when we are talking about pollution-free planet. We have to talk about the air, the water. Everything has to be conserved as well. So now, when you are brushing your teeth, the child brushes the teeth and leaves the water tap open. So, do you know how much water is wasted? We are wasting 2 liters of water while just brushing our teeth. So, the next time you brush your teeth, while brushing, you please turn off the tap and open it when you require it. Similarly, that goes with your hand wash also. While you are washing your hands rubbing the soap, okay, turn off the tap. Turn it on again if when you want it, because you are saving so much of water. Now, recently we celebrated India Akshay Urja Day. That is the Renewable Sources Day. That day, we requested, we urged children to change from the LED lights to the solar lights. Conserve energy. Find out how much energy do you save from shifting from those LED lights to the solar lights. Just few days back, your EV day went, the electrical vehicle day. What was there? We were saving our planet from the pollution. We were asking children to switch over from the petrol and diesel vehicle to the electric vehicle and see that how much carbon emission is being saved therein. So by doing these small swaps, you will see a big change coming to the environment. And yes, this is what is we are looking for when we are talking about a pollution-free planet. These small little steps will go a long way.
Thank you
So
so much,
thank you,
Preeti
Aarti
ma'am.
ma'am. Thank
So
you. Thank you so
the
much.
steps are, a bit away from you. These small steps are just a bit away from you. Idea is that we are pretty aware of them, but we are not taking that step to go near to these strategies or solutions or precautions. So I request everybody who is watching this panel discussion, either students or teachers or any local human being, to understand the need of time to support the present generation and building a future better nation. You may share your queries at abcteaching875@gmail.com. You can check the important links in the description box. You can mark your attendance and you can generate your certificate once the link is uh, visible in the description box. So thank you so much for watching this panel discussion. And I believe all these discussions are putting impact in your life. And all the educators who are watching these panel discussions will definitely inculcate these important values in their students in the live classrooms. Once again, thank you so much. Have a good day ahead.
Thank you. Have a good day. See you.
Thank
Bye.
you, ma'am.